federal judge is holding a hearing in Florida today to discuss the affidavit supporting the search warrant executed at Mar-a-Lago.
Many of the nation's largest media outlets, including CBS News, are arguing for its release. The U.S. Justice Department is against it, saying the ongoing investigation could be put into jeopardy. FBI agents searched former President Trump's Florida estate last week and retrieved 11 boxes of materials. The DOJ agreed to release the actual search warrant, but wants the affidavit to remain sealed.
Joining us now is Jessica Levinson and Rachel Fiset. Jessica, on your left, is a legal contributor for CBS News, and Rachel is the co-founder and managing partner of Zweiback, Fiset and Zalduendo. Thank you both for being with us as we look into what the judge will ultimately decide. Jessica, first, on what basis are media companies, including CBS News, arguing to unseal this affidavit, and how successful is that typically?
Typically not particularly successful, but now I'll take the first part of the question, which is, what's the purpose here? And the media organizations are understandably saying there's a very strong public interest in obtaining this information. The former president of the United States has said this is nothing more than a witch hunt. There's no legitimate basis. And the way to find the truth is to look at the affidavit, which would provide much more information than just the search warrant. They're saying that this gives the public important information about past government officials, current government officials, and that's why they want to unseal this. Now, of course, as you'll discuss in a moment, there's a lot on the other side of the scale here.
So what about, the government's position, Rachel? On what basis is the Justice Department opposing the document's release?
This is an ongoing investigation, and that affidavit has extremely sensitive information in it that would provide the defense a complete roadmap to what they have already discovered in the case through the grand jury investigation. It may also reveal confidential sources that are within the White House or the former White House. It may reveal other witnesses that are coming forward to speak. It will reveal documents. And most importantly here is this is an issue of national security, and everything in that affidavit is likely incredibly sensitive.
That issue of national security, then, leads us to what could be a middle ground. Perhaps the affidavit is released with extensive redactions so that news organizations get the document, but the general public doesn't see the information based on national security grounds. Jessica, what are the potential outcomes, and which do you think would be most likely?
So I think most likely is that we don't unseal the affidavit for all the reasons that Rachel just laid out, right? It provides a roadmap to an ongoing investigation. And as the Department of Justice said in their memo, potentially other investigations. It threatens witnesses, potentially their security. It could chill witness cooperation. And of course, as Rachel just mentioned, it raises national security concerns. So for those reasons, I don't even think we're going to get a redacted version of this affidavit. If we do, what's the middle ground? I think it's a document that is so heavily redacted that it essentially provides us with no additional information than the search warrant itself, which gave us the 3 statutes that were at issue here. Again, I think the bottom line is the judge is going to look at the 2 competing interests, going to look at what this would do for future precedent and say, no, we're not unsealing this affidavit.
So, Rachel, following up on what Jessica is saying there, let's say the judge allows a partial unsealing of the affidavit. Would that be a win for both sides? Why or why not?
I completely agree with Jessica that any type of unsealing would be so heavily redacted that you would essentially not be able to glean any information other than we had a reason to search his home. So I don't think it's a win for the Justice Department if this is unsealed. They rely on their confidential information in investigations like these, and this is how they operate throughout the country. There is no the target of an investigation, witnesses in an investigation, do not have a right to understand why they are being investigated until they are charged. And this is no different. I also think Jessica's point was huge in that witnesses could easily be threatened in such a case like this. And any type of name, any type of description of the person might start to point to who the sources are and who is cooperating. And I just think it would be bad, frankly, for everyone.
It's also unclear if any of former President Trump's lawyers will speak at today's hearing. Either one of you can take this question. Why wouldn't they speak? And also, we may not get a decision today, right? This could be delayed for some time.
So I think, and Jessica probably will agree, and
I messed that up. I should have just
in.
said Jessica instead of forcing you both. But Jessica, could you jump on that quickly? What might happen? A decision may be delayed,
I'll
and
do
the
it
Trump
quick so
lawyers
we
may
can-
not be there.
Exactly. So a decision may be delayed. This depends on the courtroom. So different courtrooms throughout the country, some judges give decisions from the bench. Sometimes when it's a more complicated issue, they will give a tentative ruling and then a final ruling. It's completely up to Judge Reinhart in this case. What about the Trump lawyers in this case? I think it's helpful for Trump to say outside of the courtroom, we want this information. But if we really think about, and again, neither one of us think that we're going to see the affidavit, but if we really think about everything that's detailed here, it's going to explain why the FBI could go to Mar-a-Lago in the first place. I don't think that's going to help Trump. I think what helps him is saying, we need more information. If we don't get it, there's a cover-up. But actually seeing the information, I think, would hurt him politically.
All right. Well, Jessica Levinson and Rachel Fiset, thank you both for your insight and analysis. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.